Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, July 20th, 2018. I am Dave Biddle. Very happy to be joined by Jonah Booker. Man, the summer is flying by, and great indication of that, JBook, is that Big Ten Media Days are going to be held Monday and Tuesday. Ohio State, all of their obligations will be on Tuesday. Urban Meyer will be really his first time talking to the media since right after the spring game, at least extensively. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball. When Urban's fielding questions all day Tuesday, what are you most curious to hear about offensively?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in hear what he has to say about Dwayne Haskins. As you mentioned, we haven't heard a lot from Urban since the spring, so I'm curious to see how Dwayne has embraced the role of being the starting quarterback at the Ohio State University. I'm also very, very interested to hear some of the feedback on how they plan to use the running backs. I know throughout the spring and the off season there was a lot of chatter that they really want to have two 1,000-yard rushers with Mike Weber and J.K. Dobbins, and then you have Master Teague, who's come in early in the spring, and he looked like he has the potential to be a star in the making. So I'm curious about that. And then obviously there's major question marks on the offensive line. Now those battles are going to continue in the fall, but it will be interesting just to get a quick update on the status and the opinion of Urban on how he feels the offensive line could shake out this year.
Urban already said over the summer 2 different times, once at the Hall of Fame luncheon, once at Ohio State's career day where he really briefly met with the media, that Dwayne Haskins is a starting quarterback. And then I guess there was some report recently that now he said, it's still a competition between Dwayne and Tate Martell. I mean, I hope he doesn't say that it's an open competition. Obviously they're competing, but we all know Dwayne Haskins is going to be the starter. Do you anticipate Urban's going to say at Big Ten Media Days, I haven't decided who the starter yet? You think he's going to pull a Nick Saban when we all know Tua is going to be the starter for the Crimson Tide? Like, what do you expect Urban will say about the starting quarterback position?
I don't think he will say it, and I hope he doesn't say it. And the reason being is everyone and their mom knows Dwayne Haskins is going to be the starter. So your coach goes on the biggest stage of the football season so far when it comes to media obligations. You want the head coach to come out and show that confidence in your starting quarterback. And everyone knows it's going to be Haskins, so just give him his due. Just say, hey, Haskins is our man. He's going to lead this football team. He won the battle. However, Tate Martell has a chance to play this fall. We're looking at potentially designing specific packages for him. So we need to make sure we have him dialed in because his number can be called at any time.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I'm all for keeping Tate Martell happy and keeping him highly interested. We all know Haskins is going to be the starter, but I think you might be right. I think Urban might make it seem like it's more of a close competition than what it really is. Let's look at the defensive side of the football. What do you think? What are you most curious to hear Coach Meyer talk about defensively?
The biggest thing for me defensively is the leaders. I mean, they lost some valuable leadership this past season, and so you want to get a clear understanding. Obviously, you're going to have Bosa and Draymond Jones, but who's going to be those guys that they're expecting to really step up and grab the bull by the horns at that linebacker position, a position that vastly played down to the competition this past season. They did not live up to the expectations of being a silver bullet linebacking core. And also the cornerback position. Obviously, we got some returning guys there, but Sean Wade and Okudah, how are they planning on using a rotation with those cornerbacks. And I know Josh Perry yesterday went on the Carpenter and Rothman show, and they asked him what was his biggest question mark on the team, and he pointed at the safety position, trying to figure out who's going to be the other starter of Jordan Fuller. He thinks that's going to be a key position that needs to be shored up quickly heading into Texas. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Hopefully he can give us a little glimpse on where they're at as far as position, who some of the leaders they're expecting to rise up on that defensive side of football.
Yeah, I love Josh Perry, but I think he was just repeating kind of what Urban Meyer said after the spring game when somebody asked him what his biggest concern was. He said free safety. Really, he said field safety, but basically free safety. I'm not buying that at all. I think linebacker by far and away is the biggest concern, and the offensive line would be number two looking at the entire team. I think he was trying to motivate Isaiah Pryor because we know Jordan Fuller is going to be really good, and I think Isaiah Pryor is going to be good as a first-year starter this year. So I'm not buying that field safety is the biggest concern on the team. I'm not buying that by a long shot.
Well, the thing is, I think it's twofold because him and Bobby Carpenter had a nice dialogue going back and forth in regards to the linebackers. And the thing that Bobby Carpenter pointed out, he said that he spoke directly with Greg Schiano at Ronald McDonald House charity event, and Schiano said they are absolutely stacked and loaded at the linebacker position. And the thing that's unique about this year's linebacking core is they have so many guys that are freakishly athletic, but the thing is they all have different things about their game that makes them special. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to be creative and coming up with packages to where they can have guys with tailored skill sets can get on the field and do what they do best. They're looking at 5 to 6 guys in a rotation. But to me, I agree with you to an extent, not necessarily the personnel at linebackers, but the question mark of Billy Davis. Can he get the most out of that group? Can he get those guys playing at an extremely high level? Now, if you're planning on rotating a deep group of linebackers, will that limit the plays from your star guys elevating their game as the season progresses? That's to be determined, but I still have major questions in regards to Billy Davis. Can he get the job done?
Can't wait for Big Ten Media Days, Monday and Tuesday, especially Tuesday when Ohio State will go. I want to switch gears and talk some recruiting. Specifically, 3 of the top players left on Ohio State's 2019 board, including the top players, Zach Harrison, also offensive tackle Trevor Keegan, and defensive tackle Tyler Davis. If they land all 3 of these kids, which that's a possibility, landing Harrison, Keegan, and Davis, I mean, all the hand-wringing about Ohio State's 2019 class, which I can't imagine there's any. It's ranked 6th in the country right now, and Urban's going to close strong. But just handicap this for me a little bit, JBook. What do you think the chances are that the Buckeyes are going to land all 3 of those, Zach Harrison, Trevor Keegan, and Tyler Davis?
If I had to guess today, I would say 33%. I think they get Harrison. I think, obviously, it's closer than a lot of people want it to be with Zach Harrison. He came off that Michigan visit. He was blown away. After dust settles, he gets into his football season. Ohio State does well. I think he's obviously going to be a Buckeye. With Keegan, I'm leaning towards Michigan. I know a lot of the crystal balls on 27 is saying Michigan. He recently had a back-to-back visit with Ohio State and then followed that up with a visit to Michigan, and then his latest visit was to Penn State. If I had to guess today, I think he's headed towards blue. And when you come to the D tackle that you mentioned is out of Florida, I would 2 to 3 weeks ago, I would have said I think he's going to be a Buckeye, but I think it's starting to slip away from him slightly. I know there's been a lot of mention that Florida State is really starting to emerge. They have to absolutely get that kid back on the campus, which you said he will be back for an official visit. But the Florida schools are popping up. Anytime You're dealing with a Florida kid, and the Florida heavy hitters are starting to emerge into that top group. You're looking at an extremely difficult battle.
Great insights, as always, from Jonah Booker. Thank you very much, JBook. You can catch him all over Twitter at JBook37. You can catch him all over Bucknuts. His column is Outside Columbus. But thank you very much, JBook, and thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning into the show. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Let's hear that Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.